We are on a little side quest today, and the thing we are doing today is installing coilovers. This is an S14, so a friend of ours asked us if we could install some coilovers, and we will do that. To be specific on that car, that's an S14A, what they are called in Europe. It's a racing edition in a very clean condition, in a green, on stock wheels and somewhat stock suspension. And the plan we are doing today, we are going to install this tiny coilovers. Just to give you a little glimpse of the car, it has like this white sort of stuff leather in it, a boost gauge that fell off the middle console, and otherwise it's really clean. Like, it has also not too much mileage on it. I'm not really sure how much. Can I read it? Yeah, 50 somewhat thousand kilometers. That's really good. First we gotta take the key. Alright, so we took the wheel off, lifted the car, or jacked it up, whatever you'd like to call it. And now this is the stock suspension. I believe there are different springs in it, but yeah, that needs to go out. So in order to get these coilovers out of the car, I mean, it's pretty simple on this S chassis. You just gotta unscrew this holder thing for the brake line. Then, of course, removing the main two bolts that are holding the knuckle in place, or connected to the coilover. There are 3 bolts on the top as well, so if you remove all these bolts, you can just pull it out. The only thing you need to think about is when you undo the top and you've already undone the bottom ones, this will just fall right out because there's nothing holding it in place. And also be aware of the knuckle dropping like on your knee or something if you're doing it on the ground, because that's quite heavy and it will probably happen that it like tilts towards you. Okay, so now the front suspension is in. The hardest part is probably getting these metal things on there, as they can be a pain in the ass to install. But otherwise, as already said, these 2 bolts, that bolt and the upper 3 ones, these main bolts are torqued down with 130 Newton meters, and the top ones are torqued with 40 Newton meters. As for the rear part of the suspension, you need to go inside the car, and then you need to like tilt your rear seats, remove that top cover, which is easy to remove. You just need like to push it up because it's clipped in. Good luck with all the clips surviving. And after that, the only thing you gotta do is there are 2 bolts in here. And on the other side as well, like 2 nuts, sorry. And if we remove these nuts, there's only 1 bolt left at the rear hub, which is that one, this. And after that, you can drop your rear shock pretty easy. Alright, so suspension in the rear is installed as well. The bottom bolt, the big one, is torqued down with 100 Newton meters, and the small upper ones up there are torqued with 16 to 19, so like 18 Newton meters. That are values from the factory service manual, so if you want to check them, it's up to you. So the next thing we're going to do is we're gonna remove the stock airbox and replace it with a HKS pot filter, so we get a little bit more sound. To do so, we need to remove all this junk, the stock intake, piping, or whatever you want to call it, stock airbox, and well, that's actually pretty easy, it's not too much work. And to do so, we're just going to remove these 4 bolts here of the flange. So there's 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. I'm not quite sure if underneath these clips, if there are screws as well underneath the filter itself. So there's 1 clip down there. She also got to open somehow. I love how much place you got to work here. Also, to take such connectors off it's also a good thing to always press it like together, so it releases any tension and then you can just simply unclip. So after we removed the top cover and this filter, we have 2 nuts on the lower part of the airbox, and then it should be free to go. So let's undo these and let's see. Yep, I was right. After that, and of course disconnecting that stock intake piping, you can just easily take it out. I'm gonna leave the nuts in here so they don't get lost. There's a 3rd one in here, why? And that HKS filter comes with a mounting bracket, which is very nice, because you should have like some sort of bracket for these, as depending on which one you buy, they can get a little bit heavy, and it's not a good thing if the filter and this plate is wobbling around the whole time. So, and the result looks like that. So we've used the original hardware with just 4 nuts in addition. Down there you see the bracket, which is mounted to the original mounting point of the airbox. So it's nice and sturdy. Let's reconnect this one. I'm always afraid of breaking these because they're freaking old. We also mounted the stock bracket for the wiring to the MAF sensor. It's like this. It's nice. Yeah, and that's what it looks.